What's up, and welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab, number one gambling podcast for quick picks. I don't know what's going on with this. Y'all see that little fuzzy over here? Kind of goes away when I put my hand up there. It's part of like the green screen, but it's been goofy. I feel like my ring light maybe isn't as strong as it used to be. So like it's like, I don't know, there's like a shadow or something. Could be the fan running. Who knows? What's up though? Hop in the chat, say hi. Let's pull up gotta pull my notes up here. Still trying to figure out I'm going to be honest, today's games aren't very good. Don't love them. I kind of have something though, like, not really interested in Diamondbacks game, but I mean, we got to play. I'm going to have a play in the Mariners game here. And then I kind of like two pitcher props in the Giants and Rockies. Got to play in the Astros game. There's only 7 games. 4 of them have weather, possibilities of delays or rainouts or whatever. So it's kind of like a sucky day. Today's not fantastic. But we'll go ahead and get into it here. Let some, people join in here. All right, let's pull it back up here. Let's see. Today's Thursday, 5/9. Before we get into today's plays, as always, take a look back, see what we did yesterday. Live just on YouTube today too, by the way. So if you're not catching it live, I appreciate you watching this on the recorded version as well. I have decided to stop doing. Actually, I need to make a note, cancel it. I'm not going to do the audio version anymore of the podcast. We're going to stick it to just the YouTube. And then on Twitter every once in a while or whatever. So doing my absolute best to try to continue to grow the show, try to get creative or find ways to. I don't know what is up with that little fuzzy. To grow the show or whatever. We hit 800 subscribers yesterday, so that's awesome. I mean, we're on the home stretch to hit 1,000, which is certainly a goal that I had, quite a while ago, obviously when we started, and then obviously continue to grow from that. So I'd love to do a giveaway, love to do whatever when we hit 1,000. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you are following me on Twitter at LiveJoeBet, do me a favor and I always tweet that the show's going live. I always post about it. Try to share it. Try to do what we can to continue to try to grow this bad boy. Yeah, Trent Schwarber, man, I'm so tired of going 2 and 3. I'll certainly complain about that here in a second. But all right, let's get it started. Kick it off here. Let me just say that this 10K challenge, it's absolutely cursed. I 2 days ago we did a video on it, and I ended up losing every play on the podcast. Do a video on it yesterday. Also gave the play out, in the Discord. It was the only play I missed in the Discord yesterday was the 10K challenge play. I could have taken any other play that I gave out. All of my plays are always very close to even money or something like that. Nothing like crazy juiced or plus 300s or anything like that. I went 4-1 in the Discord. The one play I lost was the 10K challenge play. I mean, I just don't know what the hell. What's up, Jared? So anyway, Phillies team total over 4.5. Unfortunately they were off, man. They couldn't get a hit. I was wrapping up a run. It was like the second inning. I remember, I was almost home. I was kind of, at the cool off stage at that point yesterday. And I saw, bases loaded, 1 out, no outs. Schwarber's up. And I'm just like, come on, Schwarber, hit a home run here. Let's get it started. Sack fly. And that's the only run until the 8th inning or something like that. They had bases loaded multiple times, I think, and the heart of the lineup was up and they just couldn't do it. Man, they got 1 hit throughout the time. They were catching walks and whatever. Frustrating game. I still trust them, but man, it's just unfortunate that sometimes, just teams just don't show up. Bassett pitched pretty well. Then I was listening to the game too. Apparently, he's got a really good history against the Phillies. I missed that one, but the dude was pitching so bad. You want to think that him having a decent history because the Phillies would have really done much for us. Astros Yankees over 9. One cleared pretty easily. Yankees scored 9 runs by themselves today, so that one hit pretty well. White Sox versus Rays. Unfortunately, that one missed. Man, yesterday or 2 days ago, it was the Rays scored all the runs. White Sox didn't help. Yesterday, it was the White Sox scored all the runs. The Rays didn't help. I mean, I couldn't catch both teams. add those together in the 2 days, we would have killed it. Unfortunately, we just both teams didn't show up on the respective days. Frustrating. But what's up, TJ, Big E? So yesterday, 1-2 on the podcast. But if you were here and you're listening, we gave out the Braves and the Dodgers is just like a safe, two-leg play. Unofficially, not gonna try to count it towards units or anything like that. Braves and Dodgers hit extremely easily. I ended up playing that in the Discord as well. I mean, I didn't even pay attention to the end of the Braves game. I mean, they just whooped them. Marcelo Zuna was just hitting the hell out of the ball. Pavetta was definitely struggling. We hit the White Sox early up promo as well. If you guys were in here, I gave out, I told them like, hey, look, this is wild, but I think the White Sox early up promo is perfect. Plus 210, hit that bad boy. I gave that one out in the Discord as well. So got to get a nice, we did go 1-2, like I said, but we picked up an even money, a little builder type money line play that hit really easily. And then that plus 210 for the early up, we talked about it as well. So we gave out some extra cash yesterday. Then, of course, we do go 2-3 on the home run lotto again. That's the second time in the last 3 days. Super frustrating, man. Super frustrating to keep going 2-3, and people keep saying round robin them, and it's like, yeah, like I know, I know, but like it's round robins are expensive, and like I don't want to put any extra money, and then if you're only betting $1 or $2 on a round robin, like you're also not winning any money if only 2 of them hit. So frustrating stuff, TJ, you got anything for the early up promo? Oh, you know what? I just assumed there was one today. Let me look. I feel like I seen it. Got DraftKings on speed dial here. Let me pull it up. I did have a promo for a golf bet that I gave out for some reason. I do have the early up promo. Or are you asking if I had a play for it? I don't know. Maybe I read that wrong. Yeah, I have a suggestion for it today. That's weird, TJ. It's probably because you live in not America. Anyway, Tom Cruise, what's up? Man, well, look, I'm gonna upset some of you guys today because, all right. Anyway, we can do a home run lotto today. I do kind of have, a couple people that just kind of like come out to me or whatever, but we have 7 games on the board today. 4 of them all have weather issues. We really very well could see, rain delays. I was looking. I'll just pull it up here real quick, briefly. The Roto Wire weather has been doing good for me here. You got it's saying Arizona and Cincinnati has a chance of a rain out, and then San Francisco and Colorado. There's 47% chance of rain when that game's going on at the Reds. For Rockies, 55% chance of rain pretty much the whole time. Yankee game, 50% chance of rain the whole time. Everything else is a dome or pretty okay. So I mean, it's a gross day, that's for sure. So not fantastic. We can do a home run lotto, on the games that do have like weather, wind and stuff blowing out, but it's certainly not ideal like it has been. I mentioned there being 40 home runs 2 days ago. I don't know how many there was yesterday. To be honest, I didn't see a stat on it. I wasn't about to count, but we've been having the weather has been better. It's felt like good baseball. Lo and behold, too. I've been doing pretty well. I'm up 7 units in the last 3 days in the Discord. Back to my winning ways. I couldn't buy a bet at one point. So I think it just goes to show we get this warmer weather and things just make sense. And what truly should be happening is happening, and our good hitters are hitting and everything like that. We even see Aaron Judge kind of coming out of it a little bit. Like he's been hitting again too. And I've talked about how bad, how I'm such a hater of his. But let's go ahead and get into the place here again. We got some more people in here watching too. Boy, I tell you, I certainly do miss the days when we had 50 people watching at a time. I don't know what happened in that week. I would go back and I see those videos on like the stats for my analytics. I had 50, 60 people watching, and I was like, man, I can't wait till we get 100. And it's like, ugh. We've been in like about 20. I got 15 right now, but it's a slow grind. I know people watch on recorded version. Like I appreciate the guys that keep showing up. And like I said, if any of you guys have any ideas to try to grow this bad boy, I'm certainly not getting impatient. Like I said, almost at 800 subscribers now. So I certainly appreciate all of those. Yeah, if we got any ideas, hit me up on the Twitter at Live Joe Bets. Easiest way to talk to me. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, Tom. I mean, we come a long way. I mean, it's to the point of me talking to nobody to, like there's people here to actually like communicate, makes the chat better and everything like that. So real quick, shameless plug for Beer Money Picks in the bottom here. I got a link to join. There's a monthly and like a bi-weekly, version or whatever. We got a guy in there that's literally won like 30 bets in his last 3 days. Like he's just been absolutely on fire. He's a volume type better. Got a lot of solid guys. We have a new capper coming that's going to be announced today, which is super exciting. It's going to be pretty exciting in there. Getting my boy back for today. And like I said, I'm up 7 units. No college baseball today, but we've been killing it in there. Just a lot of winning, 70 units in the last this year so far. Just myself up 70 units. If you bet, I mean, shoot, if you bet $100, that's what is that, $7,000 or something like that. Is that right math? Yeah, you'd be up $7,000. But we do have a guy in every sport, TJ. Like you said, I mean, we got Prez is his name. He does hockey props while that's going. Crown does a little like money lines and stuff like that. Chief Wahoo is doing mainly baseball. There's guys literally, I mean, just doing everything. We have a soccer guy in there, soccer builder. That's fantastic. A lady that's in there. She's actually a nurse. But she gives out like live plays in soccer. Like there's really something going on all the time. It's pretty cool. And Jared, yeah, speaking of Ty, honestly, he might be one of the better football cappers out there. Me and him doing the Boys of Spring podcast haven't talked to him about it yet. It'll either be tomorrow or Saturday, depending on what we have going on. Sometimes we like to go live on Saturday, and then be able to field some questions about the UFL. That's the USFL and the XFL podcast merged together. So some cool stuff there. A lot of cool stuff going on here, but y'all aren't here for that. Let's go ahead and get into the plays here. I do have a player prop because today is kind of a rough day. I just kind of had to start just digging in, and I've been saving some of these out props for the Discord. These have been hitting at like an awesome clip. I think I've missed just one. 4 out of the last 5, if I'm not mistaken, and we got hooked. Who was it? Was it Ronaldo Lopez? I feel like that one cashed. I can't remember who hooked us. But he had like 89 pitches and we needed like one more out and he didn't come out the next inning. I felt like he should have. But this is the graph for Ronel Blanco. This is the Astros pitcher. The line's at 16.5. Looking at about minus 130 on DraftKings, minus 115 on Bet365. I've been playing them on Bet365 because of the, it's a lower juice and everything like that. What was that? Oh, Jamie, 30 home runs. Yeah, I forgot to say something about that. Yeah, 30 home runs yesterday. So it was fantastic. We're not going to have 70 home runs in the next 2 days, with the weather we're having. Anyway, we need him to get over 16.5, or, I would play it up to 17.5. That means we need him to pitch all the way through the 6th inning, and then he gets pulled like in the 7th. That 16.5 means that he could get pulled in the 6th inning with 2 outs, and that, we'd be golden there, obviously. 3 times 5 is 15, pitching to 6, is 2 outs. You can see he's done this in every game so far. I feel. Did they really? FanDuel added outs today in New York. I'll have to look into that. Because that FanDuel definitely sleeping on, play on DraftKings, in my opinion, is the best book for baseball. DraftKings is. FanDuel, I like the builder aspect for football and just really any other sport, but they miss a lot of those props. Yeah, they do. Awesome. Well, that's fantastic. That's going to be some good news for a lot of people that's been missing out on that. So thanks Buffalo. Thanks for letting me know. So that big, we just need them to add first 5 totals, and we're going to be and we're like, honestly, that's one of the very few other things. And you can bet under total bases and stuff like that on DraftKings. But yeah, I'll have to make sure I post about that in the Discord. That'll be nice for people to know that's available now, because it's in my state, Indiana. It's in New York, I'm sure. And New York sucks for betting. No offense, but New York is terrible for player props and stuff. So if you guys have it, I'd say everybody has it. Anyway, look at the thing here. We got six games here. He's gone over our total here, no problem. If it moves up to 17.5, which I don't think it will, he would have, missed off the hook there. We see he had a complete game in his first outing. This guy has been pitching pretty good. We need him, like I said, to get to the 6. If he gets pulled with 2 outs in the 6, we cash 2. He's a solid ground ball pitcher, which is going to be really good against going against the Yankees. He does give us some free passes and all that, but I know that I have certainly tweeted about this, like being on the Yankees before and saying something like Yankees and grounding into double plays goes together like peanut butter and jelly. I'm pretty sure is what the tweet was. It's super frustrating. The Yankees hitting a lot of double plays. I mentioned that I felt Aaron Judge is doing better. I still don't overly believe in this Yankees offense, unfortunately. And it's funny, I didn't even know this until I looked into it. The Yankees have actually grounded into the most double plays in the league. They are leading the league in double plays by like a pretty large margin, and which is fantastic because Blanco does walk guys. I think he averages, he's putting up like 3 walks in a lot of his starts, which obviously can run up the pitch count. And then if they turn around and say like they walk Soto, and then Judge, behind them is running into a double play or whatever there, they hit into a lot of double plays. So he's been able to go over this number every inning, even with them giving up a lot of the walks, even with them having some of these trouble outings. I think we're going to be okay. And, like I said, I forgot to pull up where's Yankee Stadium's got like just according to Ballpark Pal, we have a -5% chance of runs, a +1%, which is, not really something I wouldn't even look at in terms of home runs. TJ, the ball was going yesterday. I don't think there's going to be as many home runs. Let me see. What's the temperature at Yankee Stadium? 66 degrees. So, that's a little bit warmer, but it's probably going to be like a humid 66, I feel like, especially with there being like rain and stuff, which means that the ball won't travel. And especially if it's raining a little bit, I don't think that we're going to have that issue. The wind is just blowing in 6 miles per hour. So I don't think that's going to be like anything crazy. We don't need the guy to go out there and throw a no-hitter. There can be times where, it's a close game and we're doing okay. Sometimes they just let pitchers go too. I'm kind of looking a little bit at like Cal Quantrill as an option for another outs guy, which would be probably just a Discord play. But it comes down to in that Rockies game, they've used a lot of bullpen arms, and they just kind of sometimes they punt on. So if he's getting killed, or they let a guy go. Like we were on Michael Lawrenson yesterday. Leiter was starting behind him. Man, he threw 107 pitches and he still got over his outs. I can't believe they kept him in. Dude was getting rocked. He gave up 3 doubles and 3 hits, and we still were able to pick up his outs. So this is a bet. This is a bet that is it is a little frustrating. Sometimes it's like a bet and forget it kind of thing. You're certainly rooting for him to do well, but even if he does bad, sometimes he can make it. And unfortunately, he could even have one bad inning in the first inning, end up throwing 25, 30 pitches in the first inning, gives up 2 runs, but then he pitches well the rest of his time. But because of his pitch count is high, he could be pushing 80 pitches going into, the 6th inning, and maybe they sit him down or something like that. Very contingent on a lot of things. Doesn't mean he has to pitch perfect. I just see a guy that's consistently pitching up here. And I do trust these Astros bats as much as I probably shouldn't. I think for them to be able to keep it in the game, if he gives up 3 runs, but it's a 4-3, 3-3 type game, they might just let it ride and let him keep going if he's kind of figured it out and he's had some pretty good command or whatever. And like I said, with the fact that the Yankees do hit into a lot of double plays and he's a ground ball type hitter, which really isn't great for the Yankees because it's a little bit of boom or bust with some of their home runs. I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup, to be honest. What you got? Outs are dropped in New Jersey too. It's in Michigan, Big E. Yeah, I would say it's probably everywhere. So that's nice to see that for sure. Let's see. Second play today. Going with the Mariners here, we got Logan Gilbert as the thumbnail player of the day for the podcast. I think talking about the early up promo, I think this is a look. I think this is a look for the early up. I tell you what though, like it's a tough game. I think somebody in chat said Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks a good offense. Hunter Green can be good when he shows up though, so I mean a little bit of fear there. Maybe the Astros not a bad look. Stroh, I'm a fan of Stroh though. Somebody said Cardinals for early up minus 142, some juice, but hey, like juice is only juice if you lose. I do feel like the Royals have a good chance of winning today. I mean, that might be another one too. So I think there's just a lot of even, not really lopsided type games. We can get this at plus money. I like them to win, for the podcast here. So I think I would certainly suggest running the I think we would suggest what, TJ? Why'd you put my name with the asterisk? Anyway, I would suggest the early up or run it. If you don't have it, I feel good about the money line too. Mariners money line, like I said, Logan Gilbert pitching. He's 3-1. I'm sorry, he's 3-0 with a 1.69 ERA. Oh shoot, I feel bad about somebody just messaged me on. All right, focus time. 1.61, 1.69 ERA on the year. Away is pitching 1.61 versus a 1.80 at home. So there's really no there's no worry about he pitches really well at home versus away. Like he's pitching, really well, no matter where he's at. He just went 8 innings against a pretty powerful Astros lineup. Like I said, maybe I'm the only one that believes in this Astros lineup, but I still think they're stacked, and I think they're pretty good. And he didn't give up any runs. He went 8 innings with no runs given up. In his last 5 starts, he's given up just 4 runs and 33 innings pitched. The guy's been solid, really solid. I mean, this is their ace without a doubt. Pablo Lopez going for the Twins, who would probably be considered their ace. There was probably a lot of higher expectations for him coming into this season, and he just really hasn't had it so far this year. 3-2 with a 4.30 ERA. He's been very off and on, and he's yet to string together 2 good starts. And I tell you, this doesn't mean anything. This is just a trend that I've seen. He pitched well in his first start against Kansas City. He gave up just 1 run. He followed that up with, in his next 2 outings, he gave up 4 runs and 5 runs. He pitched well against the Orioles, giving up just 1 run. He followed that up with 3 to the White Sox, 4 to the Angels. 2 teams that don't hit very well. He pitched well against the Red Sox just last out. Gave up just 1 run. Red Sox offense, very, very hit and miss. So, based off that trend, he's due for 2 bad games. Is that going to happen? I have no idea. I would certainly probably lean towards the under in this game. The Mariners offense is certainly no world beater at any point. They have the potential to be, but they don't hit the ball overly well. The Twins were hitting the ball pretty well. They had one of the best offenses going for quite a while, scoring a ton of runs. I feel like I talked about it a lot, in the last 7, like probably 4 or 5 days ago, they were leading the league in runs. They may still be. I didn't look at it, but they're going against Logan Gilbert, and I think they kind of hit a wall, so to speak. I think he is able to shut them down. And then you just have, the Mariners on the side that don't score a lot of runs. This could be an ugly 1-0, 3-2, 2-0 kind of game. Maybe Pablo Lopez gets in trouble early. We can get on the board, get up 2-0. That's why I'm going to use the early up on this play. I feel good about it. I'm probably running in the Discord. Very limited on some stuff. I like today because I can bet a 1:00 game and see how it goes. Hopefully win the bet, feel good about it, roll that into a 3:00 game, the Giants and the Rockies. Maybe I mess with Kyle Quantrill's outs. I'm seeing a lot of people on Keaton win strikeouts. I don't know exactly what they're seeing, but maybe I'll read into that. Maybe I do know the Rockies strike out at a pretty alarming rate, so that's probably why a lot of people are on win strikeouts. If that's looking good, we got when we're rolling into Ronel Blanco with his outs at 5. and then we got games at 7, and then there's a game at 9. You have a game like every like 2 hours. Like this is the perfect type of day. Like this is the way I love to bet. You start early, then you give out another one, then you bet another one. That way you don't have to lay it all at once because you got 5 games that start at one time at 1 o'clock or something like that. I like it. Second play was Mariners money line. Before we hop into the third play, as usual here, guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. If you're on mobile, pull it down, hit the like button, pull it back up, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it. Also, if you're watching on recorded version, hit the subscribe, hit the like button. If you're watching recorded as well, it still counts. Need you guys just as much as I need everybody else that's live. TJ, it's funny. Yeah, like Jort gets autocorrected to Joey all the time. And I mean, Joey, I mean, it fits. I would prefer you not to call me that, but that's what my mom calls me, so not like I'm not used to seeing it. All right, get into third play. Jay, love taking right-handed pitchers versus the Rockies. I think that's probably why a lot of people are looking at it. He is juiced minus 130 to over 4.5 Ks. Probably like Cal better on his outs over 17.5 than I would on win, because you're reliant on a guy getting a bunch of strikeouts, where Cal can go out there and throw 5 pitches and have 3 pop-ups and kind of get out of it in that nature. The Giants bats have been really cold. Soler's on the DH now, which, I mean, he hasn't done any, not the DH, the IL or whatever, which he hasn't really done anything for us really anyway recently, but getting way ahead of ourselves. Get into the third play here. Let's pull that up there, Biggie. Biggie's on win strikeouts. Colorado has a 30% K rate to right-handed pitcher. He has had 5 Ks in 4 of 7 games this year. Yeah, I did notice that he's pitched a lot this year, more than most players have seemed to be. But I don't feel like he's known to be a big strikeout pitcher. But anyway. Anyway, let's get into the third play here. Then we can talk some home runs. Before we talk this play, like I said, like it, subscribe it, whatever. But go ahead and if you guys have some home run people, go ahead and let me know. Like I said, I got people. I don't mind running the lotto. One of these times we're gonna hit it. Like to get your guys' thoughts as usual. Chuck, yeah, after I ended the show, I realized I forgot to say something to you. But yes, very, 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 very easy cash. I was actually going to play that because I was having a good day. Like I said, I went 4-1 in the Discord. That was the late game. I think it started at like 9:30. It's like 9:15, and I'm like, all right, let me check this out. And I just kind of lost track of time. I just didn't have enough time to like truly like kind of research it, and I didn't want to rush it. I hate to give out a play that's like, hey, this starts in 5 minutes, or whatever. But yeah, it was a good play. All right. Somebody said they liked I think it might have been Jay there. Somebody said they liked the Angels. I don't agree, unfortunately. I like the Royals money line here. I'll tell you why. First off, the whole day is weird. I'm actually looking at the Royals as favorites now, which I believe this morning, I guess I think they were favorites. The Angels without Mike Trout really just don't have it. There's not they're missing a lot of big names there. Obviously, that big name. A lot of like people like to handicap like the travel issue when you're playing on like the West Coast versus the East Coast or whatever, right? I think that there's no travel edge here. There's zero travel edge. So when you have this Royals team having to try all the way out to the West Coast and play the Angels, right? So you normally say like, all right, this first game is not going to be very good. They just had to travel across the United States, so on and so forth, whatever. It's a Midwest team. It's going to be issues. However, the Angels were just playing on the East Coast. The Angels and the Royals were both flying in at the same time. Both of these teams have just traveled back to the West Coast, like however you want to say it. They both had travel. So a lot of people look into like the team, they look down on the team that had to travel, across the United States, but both these teams had to do it. You take that factor completely out of like the handicap here. Like now we're like on even playing field, so to speak. The Angels have Detmers going 3-3, 4.24 ERA. His last three starts have been bad. He's given up 7, 5, and 4 runs in those three starts. 16 runs in his last three starts. Not fantastic. All right. He's got a 5 ERA at home, so his ERA is actually even worse at home than it is away, or as a combination. Look, Michael Waka, I think, isn't much better. Guys 1-4, 5.50 ERA, 7, 4, and 2 runs given up, 5.56 ERA. In this spot, I just feel that the Royals bats are just better. The Royals are stronger. Salvador Perez sat yesterday. Perez is a solid hitter. Hits lefties really well. Bobby Witt Jr. hits lefties very well. I think this Kansas City team hits lefties, up there in terms of, MLB league leading type of thing. They have the better offense. They have the better matchup, in my opinion, to the offense versus the defense. You have to rely on an Angels team to beat up this Royals pitcher that this Angels team just really isn't lively to begin with. So I don't think it really matters who they're facing. Their offense just isn't overly strong, in my opinion, to begin with. So that's where I stand on it. I mean, not a whole lot to say, not a whole lot to handicap or anything like that. But yeah, man, I've been getting like I just think like 7 random followers on Twitter. I've been getting like 20 followers a day just out of nowhere. Why doesn't that happen on YouTube for subscribers? Anyway, 3 plays for today. Then we'll talk some home runs real quick. And anything else you guys got? We've been at this for about 30 minutes now. Let's see. Ronel Blanco over 16.5 outs. We can now play that on FanDuel. That's super, super exciting. Blanco over 16.5 outs. Like I said, I'd play it up to 17.5. You would operate under the assumption that he's going to make it all the way through the 6. He's not going to get pulled at, the 2-minute mark or anything like that. Mariners money line early up, like Logan Gilbert on the mound here. Like him to win, but would certainly recommend playing the early up there because why not utilize the promo, especially at plus money. And then Royals money line going against an Angels team without Mike Trout. Yeah, it's the line kind of doesn't make sense, TJ. All right, home runs real quick. According to Ballpark Pal, I mean, we just got a gross day. Reds got a 30% increase. We do have rain issues, but I mean, it's the small field blowing out to right. Got wind blowing out at Angel Stadium, so I'd like to take something there. And then I have an idea for a Yankee or somebody in the Yankee game. Perez is one of them. All right, so let's start from what game starts soonest. So Diamondbacks and Reds. I have Christian Walker penciled in. Let me pull that game back up. I mean, we've talked about this game for 3 days in a row now. We haven't hit one guy. I think we ended up actually skipping this game yesterday though. We talk about Gurriel has been Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I think he's a junior. Has been hitting very well. Christian Walker does have the lower odds. Elly De La Cruz is chalk. I mean, he's still like a plus 420, but I mean, like, what did he go? At least from what I've seen, I think he started like 0-3 yesterday. Both of these teams are just can't score. Both of these teams are anemic. They got an over under a 9. I mean, I don't know who this pitcher is, honestly, for the Diamondbacks. I'd have to look into him. I don't recognize the name all that well. Christian Walker, just when you think the Diamondbacks, you think that being the powerful guy. It's been a minute since he's hit a home run, and I'll pull him up here again real quick, even though I feel like off the top of my head, because of looking at him the other day, I think all of his home runs have come against righties. But I mean, if I got multiple people saying Elly, I mean, we could run Elly. So Walker has 7 home runs. 6 of them have been against righties. Let's see, this Sessione guy, he's a righty. I'm pretty sure we looked at Ellie, and I don't feel like he hits many home runs against righties. Oh, never mind. He's at 7 of his 8 home runs have been against a righty. We'll go with Ellie. Yesterday was a bit of a dictatorship. Today it can be a democracy. Ellie De La Cruz for that game. That's cool. I know Rockies and Giants have the good hitting environment, but it's actually pretty cold in Colorado. Another reason that outs might not be a bad play. I don't know how well the ball's going to carry because it is kind of cold, and I think it's kind of rainy. Astros and Yankees. Rizzo, not a bad one. However, I have a hard time betting against a prop that I have. So the only way I can justify myself betting this is to go with an Astro because I'm riding an Astros pitcher. So to bet against him to give up a home run, I feel like it's counterproductive and probably silly. Especially if I'm talking about how he's a ground ball pitcher and all, that's my main, reasoning for liking the play and everything. I like Yordan Alvarez. It's been a minute since he's hit a home run. Yankee Stadium, probably one of the better places to hit for lefties. They got the short porch in right field. So realistically, we would want to take any lefty, I feel like, in this spot. I would say, if I was going to take, honestly, if I were to, it was going to take probably a Yankee, it would be Soto, even though he just hit a home run yesterday. I just feel Yordan Alvarez, like I said, is one of those. I feel like he's got to be due. Plus 400 too. So we're gonna keep it in like the plus 400 range or so. We don't have any of these like plus 200 type home run hitters. Even though I feel like that's when we get the closest, is if we're playing after the chalk type people. So I didn't realize Stan hit one yesterday. So like I said, yesterday was a dictatorship. This player will be a dictatorship. Then we're democracy on the last one. Like I said, I just can't find myself taking a Yankee when I'm rooting for an Astros pitcher. I just I don't want to be up there like, oh man, like, well, if he hits a home run, then I feel good. But if he's gonna give up a run, that'd be to my guy. I don't want to be up there with like a existential crisis. Royals Angels, we got the wind blowing out. Look, there is no Angel that jumps out to me. I know that like Ward hits well. I know that Adele dude has been hitting well. I look at Salvador Perez, who just had a day off. We were just on Salvador Perez the other day. I also think Bobby Witt isn't a bad look. Because Perez was off, maybe that's not a bad look. Perez, Perez is hitting 360 versus lefties, 317 against righties. The dude's hitting the ball really well. However, he's only hit 1 home run against lefties this year, which doesn't mean, like I said, doesn't mean anything. But if we're trying to put together, perfect, let's see. What's Bobby? There he goes. Splits. Bobby Witt hasn't hit. He's only hit 1 home run against lefties too. So realistically, Perez is probably the better look. Every time I take Perez, though, he gets walked or he gets hit. Last time I was in Perez, he got hit in his first at bat, and then I think he got walked later on. So like the dude just gets a lot of free bases. But if they actually pitch to him, which direction? So yeah, it's blowing like dead center. It looks like, and I don't think like crazy or anything. TJ, you said Perez, didn't you? I feel good about just going with Perez. It'd be a plus 11,860. Willie Adams. Yeah. I feel like I didn't even think about looking at that game. Oh, they're in a dome. So yeah, so that might not be bad. Sonny Gray's pitching though. Sonny Gray is a a fairly solid pitcher. I don't know how many home runs he's given up or anything like that, but we'll run with that. Like I said, the other day, I mean, when I was like, it's not going to hit anyway. We'll probably put too much time into it or something like that. Um, TJ, actually, very frustrating. So, well, like I went for a run and in my head, it was going to be a short one and it ended up being a longer one because like I ran the first mile good and I was like, let's just keep doing it. But it's all the same type of mulch and I got 8 bags and like 3 of them or like 5 of them was like shredded mulch. And then the other 2 or 3 were like chipped. So they were like square. So it's like I had shredded and like chipped. I wasn't very happy. But at that point, by the time I like actually realized it, luckily I had it all done and there was one I bought 1 extra bag. So I like sprinkled the shredded like around like the spots that was chipped so it looks more uniform or whatever. Kind of annoying. Yeah, Trent. Sonny Gray's been looking good. I mean, not fantastic. I mean, he plays for the Cardinals, so he's not that good. But when I like to do these home run lottos, it's most of the time it's just hey, which ballpark has the best environment, and then if it's a pitcher that like Joe Musgrove or Michael King that's given up like double digit home runs, then obviously like that would be another like good look, too. The I do have dogs, but it was in the front yard. I got like rocks and stuff in the backyard. All right. So yeah, those will recapping again here real quick and we'll get out of here. Ronel Blanco over is out. Mariners money line for the early up promo, and then Royals money line for the nightcap game. Game's late, like 9:30 or something like that. Yeah, 9:40. And then for the home run lotto, we're gonna go with Yordan Alvarez, Salvador Perez, and Ellie De La Cruz. Plus 11,860. We'd be going 2 for 3 a lot. This probably wouldn't be a bad one to round robin because it is higher guys. It's not worth round robining, if that's the word, like the plus 200s, because then it just doesn't work out. I'm still not gonna do it, but if you were, this would be the better one because these are all plus 360 or higher. Anyway, that's plus 11,860. That's as far as we'll go today. I'm going to get out of here. We got baseball starting here that home run play start. Well, okay. An hour. We got baseball starting in an hour. We got the Mariners early up, and then we'll be rooting for the Ellie De La Cruz home run in both of those games. I'll only be able to watch the Mariners game because I think the Reds are blacked out for me. Never seen a Reds game. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to get out of here, and I will see you guys back tomorrow at 11:30.